let's not go judgmental in this video. There might be a few other spirituality or New Age vocabulary videos on YouTube, so I'm hoping to contribute one that is done by an actual spiritual practitioner, where we're going to explore the domain of spirituality from a non-condescending and open-minded perspective. I love integrating spirituality techniques and personal transformation practices in my English lessons. For those of you who are interested in understanding your favorite spiritual teachers talk about spirituality in English, I have created this video. A quick tip: it might be best to learn these words if you choose to pause after I explain a word and create a sentence including that word. Notice how I use the words, especially how I marry them with surrounding words and the context. Saying new words out loud in your voice is crucial for your progress. Consciousness is by far the most common word that we may hear from spiritual sources. Consciousness. Consciousness. Consciousness is an interesting word that is often confused with the same root noun, conscience. Usually, when we talk about conscience, we refer to a set of morals and values a human being may be encouraged to possess. When we talk about consciousness, though, in layman's terms, we may mean the fact that someone is alert or awake, taking conscious notice of whatever is happening around them. In spirituality, you may hear people talk about everything being conscious, therefore possessing a certain level of consciousness. It's best when you have a direct experience of universal consciousness. Having a direct experience of something means experiencing it for yourself, not through belief or hearsay. A mystical experience might be fundamental for someone who has stepped on the path of awakening. In spirituality, awakening is an experience or realization when your consciousness expands and you become conscious of the true nature of things. You may pursue awakening, follow the path of awakening, or as it's becoming increasingly commonly used, you can become awoke. In fact, it's becoming more and more common to hear people discuss a master or author by saying he's awoke, she's awoke. We may experience and/or hear other people discussing high consciousness and low consciousness activities and phenomena. In this case, high consciousness and low consciousness act as adjectives. If something is being described as high consciousness, it means the level of that show or way of running a business is designed so that it can serve other people's consciousness expansion. High consciousness activities are mature, evolved, and considerate. In contrast, low consciousness activities are those that evoke our primal or animal nature and barely contribute to a consciousness growth and expansion, perpetuating the rut we're stuck in even further. Here are some common expressions with high consciousness and low consciousness. A high consciousness business, a high consciousness TV show, a high consciousness education method, high consciousness priorities in life, low consciousness beauty products, low consciousness values, low consciousness activities, a low consciousness industry, low consciousness TV shows. We may also talk about altered states of consciousness induced by hours of meditation, breathing exercises, psychedelic substances, meaning those chemicals and plants that may cause some of us to explore realms of perspective that are beyond the level of our everyday perception. If something is altered, it means it is changed, transformed, or modified in some way. In fact, we all experience an altered state of consciousness when we sleep. Now, here is an interesting pair of words, conscious and aware. Sometimes these words are used interchangeably. If someone is aware, we usually mean they understand what is happening around them and how their activities are interplaying with their environment. Ecologically, though, when we talk about something being conscious, we may also refer to a type of choice or behaviour that is intelligent, compassionate, and correlates well with those around us or the planet Earth. We may talk about a conscious choice, conscious consumption, when you don't produce much waste, for example. having a conscious circle of friends, or conscious friends, or a conscious attitude. We might mention conscious being and being conscious. Play around with those in the comments below. When we refer to subconscious activity of the mind, we usually imply the deeper layer of the mind, where our assumptions on which our self resides are hidden. More conventionally though, when we say the word subconscious, we often talk about non-obvious stimuli that drive our behaviour and motivate our emotions. We can talk about dredging up the subconscious, meaning the activity of understanding our deep drives or shedding the light of consciousness over them. In psychology, we may also refer to the subconscious mind or subconsciousness, or just the subconscious. English is easy once you know which levers to pull. I hope you have enjoyed this video, guys, and found it useful. In the comments, please contribute the nuances I haven't mentioned in this video and play around with the expressions I have mentioned. Were there any expressions you haven't heard of before? Share this video with a friend, act consciously, give me a like, and I will see you soon.